All right, let's talk about a bug that's probably costing your team hours every single week. But here's the thing, it's not in your code, it's in your communication. Today, we're going to deploy a fix for the language we use every day so you can solve problems faster and honestly just get more done.
I mean, look at these. We've all typed sentences almost exactly like this into Slack or Jira, right? They seem super simple on the surface, but they're actually built on a specific grammatical structure that can literally make or break your entire workflow. If you get it right, hey, your ticket gets resolved in minutes. But if you get it wrong, you're just stuck in that endless loop of confusing follow-up questions. We've all been there.
Look, in our world, time is money, and you know what? Clarity is currency. When you send vague requests or confusing reports, those are just bugs in your workflow, and they bring productivity to a screeching halt. Being precise with your language isn't some nice-to-have skill. It's a core professional tool. So let's deploy that fix.
So what is this magic fix? It's called a noun clause. And yeah, I know, it sounds like some boring grammar term from high school, but stick with me. I want you to think of it like a data packet for your sentences. It's this awesome building block that packages a whole idea together, basically letting one sentence do the work of two.
So what is it exactly? Well, a noun clause is just a group of words that has its own subject and its own verb, but the entire chunk, the whole thing, acts as a single noun. It's kind of like packaging an entire idea, like the thought, the server is down, into a neat little box that you can then just plug into a bigger sentence. Super useful.
And here's where you can really see the difference it makes. A simple noun phrase like his username or the error, it's fine. It tells you something. But a noun clause, like what his username is or what caused the error, now that carries so much more valuable information, doesn't it? It actually contains a problem to be solved. You're transforming a simple label into a call to action, an actual investigation.
All right, let's get practical. Scenario 1. You need information from somebody. You're writing a ticket, and you need to put a question inside another sentence, like, could you please check, or I need to know. So how do you do that clearly and avoid all that frustrating back and forth? Let's break it down.
Okay, so let's take a super common direct question. Where is the file? Now, you want to embed this inside a bigger sentence, like, I don't know, what happens to the word order? This right here is the #1 place where things go wrong, and it's what causes all that confusion we're trying to fix. And here it is, the golden rule. If you remember one thing, remember this. Inside a noun clause, you always use statement word order, not question word order. That means the subject comes before the verb. So it's not where is the file, it's where the file is. You see that? It's a really subtle shift, I know, but it is the difference between confusing and crystal clear communication. Okay, let's see how this actually looks in the real world, because you're going to use this structure constantly. When you're debugging a deployment, you're going to ask someone to explain why the build failed. When you're testing, you need to check how the API responds. This isn't just some abstract grammar thing. This is the core language of getting work done in tech.
Okay, but what about those simple yes or no questions? Like, is the server online? You can't really use words like what or why for that, right? Well, for these, we have two special little signal words we can use, if and whether.
And these two words are perfect for when you're not asking for a big piece of data. You just need a confirmation, a simple yes or no. You might ask a teammate, can you check whether the API key is valid? It's the perfect structure for quick status checks and for flagging potential issues cleanly and professionally. Zero ambiguity, zero wasted time. All right, on to our next critical skill, reporting. This is huge. Whether you're writing up incident notes, trying to summarize a meeting, or just updating a ticket, you have to be able to state facts and report what other people said accurately. This is where our next type of noun clause becomes absolutely essential for creating a clear, professional record of what happened. And we do this using something called that clauses. It's simple, really. For example, I think that the bug is in the front end. Now, here's a key tip. In conversation, like in a quick Slack message or a daily stand-up, we almost always drop the word that. It just sounds more natural. So you'd say, I think the bug is in the front end. And speaking of conversation, here's a great professional shortcut for you. Instead of repeating a whole that clause back to someone, we often just use the word so. So if your manager asks, will the update fix the issue? You don't need to say, I hope that the update will fix the issue. You just reply, I hope so. It's fast, it's clear, and you'll hear it all the time. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of reporting what someone else said.
You have two options, really. Quoted speech is when you use their exact words with quotation marks, but honestly, most of the time, especially in a formal incident report, you're going to use reported speech. You're reporting the idea of what they said, which is absolutely crucial for summarizing events accurately and concisely. And when we use reported speech, there's one more really important rule to remember: the tense shift. Basically, if you're reporting something that was said in the past, like he said or she told me, the verb in your noun clause often takes one step back in time. So will becomes would, can becomes could, is becomes was. This is how you accurately signal that you're reporting a conversation that already happened. And the key here is just using the right verb pattern to avoid simple mistakes. For the verb tell, you have to say who you told. She told me that. Just saying she told that is a really common error, and it sounds a bit off. For ask, you'll use an if clause or a question word clause, and for reply, you use a that clause. Once you master these patterns, your reports and summaries will just sound so much more polished and professional.
Okay, you've got the tools now. You understand the theory behind it, so it's time to put it all together. I want you to think of this next part as your final test, your own little masterclass in writing that perfect, crystal clear, and super effective ticket or incident report. All right, let's do a super quick, rapid-fire recap. Ready? Number 1, a noun clause is a package of information that acts like one single noun. Number 2, inside that package, you always use statement word order, subject, then verb. Got it? Number 3, use if or whether when you're embedding a yes or no question. And finally, number 4, when you're reporting a past conversation, remember to shift your verb tense back one step. That's it.
And now, here is your challenge. I want you to take these rules and apply them. Like right now, pause this explainer for a second and draft a quick mini incident note using all these structures. Describe a problem, ask for some information, state a fact, and then report a teammate's comment. This is how you really move from just knowing this stuff to actually doing it.
You know, by mastering these simple noun clause structures, you're not just improving your English, you are literally upgrading your entire professional communication protocol. This is a core competency for any serious tech professional, especially as you move into more senior roles. So hey, consider this your official certification.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought. I want you to think about your work right now. Think about your open tickets, the drafts in your email, that stand-up you have coming up. What is the very first support ticket, the first message, the first report you're going to improve with these tools? Make it happen.